Hi, hello, and head nod. Welcome to the second edition of the Prosperous podcast. 2 in 1 day. What a treat for you guys. Today, I'm here with my co-hosts Scott Passos and Giancarlo Donahue. Today, today's a bit of a special podcast since we're not going to be slandering anyone. We're just going to be defending our boy Prospero. So, my first question will go to let's do Giancarlo Donahue. Mr. Donahue, why would you say why is Prospero's slavery of Caliban? Why is it justified?
Well, I would say for two main reasons. The first being that actually they build off each other. The first being that Caliban tried to rape Miranda, Prospero's daughter. So they get to this island and there is a half man, half monster trying to rape his daughter. What would you do if you're stranded on an island alone with this guy? If I had magic powers and was a complete beast, I would probably use it to work against him. He needs to be punished. He needs to be taught, which is exactly what Prospero did. This was not out of malice, like most people would do, but out of teaching, trying to help Caliban to become a better person. He had to imprison him and
That's,
teach him his ways.
that is a great response. I couldn't think of a better response. Mr. Passos, what's your take on this question?
First of all, Giancarlo, beautiful, beautiful. But furthermore, let's get right into it. A little bit thing you left out is you called Caliban a slave. I would actually say Caliban is more of a student, if anything. Now, I want you to understand that, a little context. Caliban tried to rape Miranda. We know this. Prospero said, bad. I'm taking you under my control, in a sense, so you can't do that again. Now, unlike a slave that works tirelessly on end for their master, Caliban didn't just work for him, but he learned from him. It's interesting to note that before Caliban was quote unquote a slave, he had no knowledge of language, no knowledge of right and wrong, no knowledge of almost anything. He was more of an animal than a person. However, Prospero taught him language, and you actually get quote unquote little quotes. Yeah, I read the book, kind of a genius here. Caliban is like, you taught me language, so now I can curse. And so we get that a lot of that interjection, which people are like, oh, he doesn't want to be enslaved, he doesn't want to do this. We as students, do we want to be in school? No, not really. Not all the time do we want to be in school, but do we have to? Yes, and it makes sense why we have to. We have to learn. And so those are just remarks. I mean, like, as a student, as a teacher, Prospero is teaching him right and wrong. Prospero is teaching him what to do, how to be a person, how to speak, all this stuff. And, of course, there's going to be, like, a little backlash. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But you still got to learn, right? How are we going to let an animal run on the loose, raping people? Or what Prospero doesn't, he doesn't just condemn him, he teaches him and makes him a human being. And so that is very important to acknowledge.
Mr. Passos, that was one of the greatest responses. I was not expecting that whatsoever. The student, that came from right field, not gonna lie. Might I add, honestly, I think we're forgetting about who Prospero is. Prospero is the all-powerful magical sorcerer. If he wanted to, he could have zapped Caliban off the planet of the Earth and just wiped him out of existence. He's doing him a favor by just imprisoning him and teaching him. It's honestly absurd. Now, before I get into the second question, I want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, second day in a row, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is the one of the biggest mobile RPG games of 2020, and it's completely free. Currently, there's almost 10 million users that have joined Raid over the last 6 months. And it's one of the most impressive games in its class with detailed models, environments, and smooth 60 frame per second animations. The game is just fantastic. I hope to see you guys on there. And if I do, you're probably going to get destroyed. Now, for my second question. This one, I saw Mr. Coleman, in fact. Mr. Coleman, I think he made a bit of a slip up since I don't even think he read the book, in all honesty. He said Caliban had two slaves, including Ariel. Mr. Donahue, why is Ariel not a slave?
I mean, first off, shout out to Owen Coleman for sure for actually having the guts to say this on camera. I mean, what an absurd take. But but in all honesty, um are you kidding me? Like Ariel was imprisoned. she would have been in the tree for the rest of her life. She was imprisoned. Caliban didn't do anything about it when Caliban was king of the island. No. But Prospero comes to this island and frees Ariel from this tree. Obviously, there must be some kind of reward for this, correct? So Ariel works hard for him for lots of time. But is she really a slave? Because she gets home, she gets food, she gets everything she didn't have when she was imprisoned in a tree by an evil witch. And then on top of all of that, she is freed. So she is freed twice by Prospero, and Owen Coleman has the audacity to call Ariel a slave. I mean, unbelievable. I just don't even know what to say. I'm at a loss for words.
I completely agree. It's absurd to think like that. I mean, it disgusts me to call Ariel a slave. Simply put, it's repayment. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for today. Once again, huge shout out to our sponsors, Raid Shadow Legends. But also, let's not forget about our second sponsor, Productions by Jackson, on YouTube at PROD by JXN. Thank you. Signing off.
Just want to note before I end this little meeting that Jackson is an up-and-coming rapper. He's going to make it big, and I say you go subscribe right this very instant, because in the next week or two, let's give it a month, he's going to be at the top, 1 million views, no cap. And I mean, if you want to look like a bandwagon and join later on, go for it. But let's just join early on, be the real ones since day one. So, thank you.